Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to give you a real quick life update on 10 months. Oh my god, I can't believe it. 10 months of social media as well as scouting trip in Portugal. A caveat that I have been MIA for 10 months off social media this year, but that's okay. You know, sometimes life happens and we are allowed actually to just take time off social media whenever we want to without any reason. So if you are watching me from my amazing Instagram community and you are among those who have been genuinely sending me DMs, or you may have sent me a DM recently or maybe earlier on at the beginning of this year, I may have responded, or if I have not responded, I apologize. That is not that was not intentional. It's just that I have been taking time off social media, especially on Instagram, and I will continue to take the time off for the rest of the year. So if you have sent me that DM and you have been asking, this video is for you. However, if you are coming across this video for the very first time, hi, my name is Jane. I share budget-friendly travel guides and sometimes just personal lifestyle things, especially on my Instagram. So welcome, I'm so glad that you're here. So it's I have been missing in action for 10 months, as I've said already, but you know, sometimes this is okay. Life happens to all of us and we are allowed to take some time off social media whenever we want to without any reason whatsoever. And I feel like as a creator we are kind of, it feels like, especially on Instagram, I'm going to talk about Instagram specifically because that's where my journey has started, and many of my community, my small little community, comes from there. It feels like we have to be like, we have to be on a pedestal. We have to always be out there, which I understand. As creators, you have to show up every day for those people who need your resources, who need your helpful guides, or whatever your goal is with your social media. So sometimes it makes sense to like keep up and keep that community and showing up for yourself as well. But sometimes, let's be honest, life happens, and for me personally, I had started feeling this overwhelm of being mentally drained whenever I open Instagram. And this whole thing started, I think, at the end of last year, when I think this has been triggered also because of so many events that were happening. I don't know if you know, late last year there was a lot of layoff for most people in the Western world. People were losing jobs and all those things. And for me, I have always been a freelancer, remote worker, do things on my own. But this journey has never been easy. It's not still easy as I speak, because unlike a traditional 9-to-5 job where you are guaranteed that you're going to receive a salary regardless of how much, when you work for yourself, that's not the case. You have to rely on clients, you have to deliver whatever projects you're working on, and it can result in burnout. And for me personally, that was the case. I was just feeling, it has been a very different phase where in my life where I feel lost and unsure of what I'm doing. So with the creativity of social media as well, I think if you have been, or you're watching me from my Instagram, I keep referencing to that because that's where I am known. Not known so much, I would say. That's where my community come from so far. But if you are new, you can just go back there to Instagram and you know. But I think most of the people who probably watch this will be from my Instagram because no one knows me here on YouTube. So exactly, it's so yeah, it has just been overwhelmed. I had to, at the beginning of the year, I had to resort to getting a 9-to-5 job for a while to sort out some things. I had to It was not a job which was I intended to be in for a long time, and I did it for 6 months almost. I had to end because now personal life had to come in. Like I said, life happens in the midst of all this chaos. And I think, if I am being honest, my creativity journey, for me, it's all about reflection. I always ask myself, what am I doing with this? Where am I going? So for me, taking time off Instagram, and even on my blog, I have not been writing. Well, I've been writing there and then whenever I can, but that's the whole different thing, because blogging is also very different from making YouTube videos or Instagram Reels. It's another complete kind of creative journey that I don't want to dive into. We're still there. Maybe in future I'll talk about that journey specifically. So that being said, if you are watching me from my small amazing Instagram community, hi. And if you are also among those who have been like sending me DMs, even in private messages directly on my personal number, because I know that some of you do have my personal number. And if you have been asking, am I all right? What's happening? Am I quitting Instagram? Etc. etc. I just want to tell you, first of all, I am all right. Yes, I might be missing in action, but it's just life has been lifing. I'm all right, and no, I have not given up on Instagram. I'm just taking a reflective time off it, and for me personally, I know most of us, we are using Instagram or any other social media platform for different reasons. For me, my creative journey is all about intention. Yes, it's all about intention and what I'm doing with it. Where am I going? So I've just been reflecting as well, apart from the fact that I have been feeling quite drained, mentally drained by Instagram. I find myself comparing with other people, and for me that's not good for my mental health. The moment I start feeling like that, I take a big pause, ask myself, wait a minute, what am I doing with this? So it has not been well. Apart from that, life, as I've said, has been lifing. We have been facing other different personal problems. Well, I can't put them as problems, challenges. As I've said, I'll talk about my life update off Instagram, as well as scouting Portugal. And even as I record right now, I'm recording from Portugal, so that also has affected me, my creativity, especially on social media. I just honestly don't have time. And now, so basically, if I recap and give you just a quick, I just want to say, personally, I really appreciate that you actually care, genuinely care, to even notice that I've been missing in action. I really appreciate it, honestly, because it's quite rare in today's social media life and connections, sometimes, to find people who genuinely care for you. I really appreciate it. And for those who have been asking what's happening, am I all right? Am I quitting Instagram? First of all, I'm all right. Just life, guys. I've been lifing, and no, I'm not quitting Instagram. I'm just taking time off. And I thought of doing this video as well for those who probably missed my Instagram story, where I did mention at the beginning of the year that I'm taking time off. I didn't say when I'll be back, but as you can see, I've not been on 10 months now, and I'll continue to take the time off for the rest of the year, and we'll be back early next year. I'm not gonna say when, but I'll be back. And Instagram is not going anywhere. We will find you guys, and for those who probably not be sticking around, that's still fine. That's just life. I personally think life is it has seasons. It's the same thing for social media. If for some life goes on, for others they still think of you. Like those of you who have been asking me, or who did send me any DM at the beginning of the year, that shows that people genuinely care, and because of you guys, honestly, you have been my pillar of inspiration to even create every single day. Other than that, personally for me, Instagram has been quite overwhelming. I'm just gonna make a confession. It has been so overwhelming, and for me, in my creative journey, I always want to be intentional. This also has been a time for me to actually reflect on what exactly I'm doing with my Instagram, or where am I going. A reflective journey, honestly. And it's okay for me if I take time off for too long. What I always believe that what's meant for me will always be there, so I'm not missing out on anything. Of course, I miss the amazing Instagram community. Sometimes it can get lonely for us creators, to be honest. Outside the social media life, you start to miss friends and all those that you've made through social media. So I do miss that a lot, actually. But this break is needed for me and my to grow as a creator and learn from what sort of mistakes maybe I have made before, and just improve on some of my craft, if that makes sense. And as I said at the beginning of the video, that I will also talk about scouting Portugal. So if I will advise you watch the video throughout to the end to hear just about this whole scouting. So for those who don't know, we've been wanting to make a big move to Portugal for such a long time now. It's been a very hard decision, if I'm being honest, for us to just take the plunge and just go and do it. But like in any place, for me personally, I've moved in different countries before, and I've lived in different countries than my birth country. So I know how it's like moving in a new country. You get used to the people and all that. So for us, this year has also been the year that we decided, instead of just going straight to move to a new country, because the perception that most of us may have, for example, for Portugal, everybody loves Portugal. Most people do. That's just the truth. The travelers love Portugal. But the thing is, if you would want to move there, is it the same when you go on holiday or you live there? So this is some of the questions that we've been asking ourselves, and this is why we are here. As time of this recording, I'm recording this video in Portugal, in our scouting trip apartments here in Porto specifically. So yeah, we are here just trying to experience life as the local. We might be here for a while just to see how life is like, and if it will be a fit place for us to move. So this whole journey of scouting has not been easy, like I've said, for me personally. I think for both of us, because you have to put in so many things into perspective, work-wise and all that. So yeah. And apart from so you can imagine the whole challenges. This year has just been a year like of shifting, reflecting. Other than that, in the future, I will be sharing more content relating to Portugal, scouting Portugal. So if you have any question relating to scouting, and for those who maybe you might not know what scouting means, a scouting trip is basically a trip that you take, or is advised for anyone who is trying to move to a new country before they actually make the big move. You go there and experience life, not like as a traveler or tourist. You go there and live life like the local. That's why for us, even as I film this video, we've lived in different neighborhoods in Porto where there were just local people, and that's kind of gave us a good base of how the life would be if we would live here. So you go in another country that you are interested to live in, it may be different. You can go in different seats or parts of that country and just see how life is. For us here, we are in Porto because that's the main interest here in Portugal. Portugal is quite big. So if you have any questions relating to how do you get even started, this sort of kind of things, this is what I'll be trying to share, where you start, what advice, and so on and so forth. So this is what has been happening, what has happened, where we are right now, if you have any question whatsoever regarding scouting, how we did it, and you can follow along on this journey, and I'll be updating you guys. More videos will be coming in the future about our journey here in Portugal. And if you have questions, just drop them in the comments and I'll make the videos for you. As for Instagram, I will be back, guys. I will be back when my head is cleared and I've reflected, and you know what I've said. I will be back. I've not given up, and probably when I come back early next year, I'll come back probably on stories. Maybe that's I can promise. I will come back on stories as usual. Otherwise, there you have it, guys. And I thought of putting this video on YouTube because if you missed the story I made at the beginning of the year, you can always come on YouTube. You'll find this video, so you will get a hang of what exactly is happening with Jane. I'm alright, guys, and life is